good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever in this world you might be. My name is Jack Branch. I'm located in Covington, Louisiana, outside of New Orleans, and my motto has always been, if you want to work your whole life, that's your business. If not, that's my business. And I've been doing this show. This is the 37th episode of the Healthy Wealth Show, and today we've got a good friend, a person I've known for quite some time, and the question really is, why is Western medicine failing us? Why is Western medicine failing us? You know, I think if you look at all the healthcare changes that are happening in this country over the last probably decade, a lot more folks are starting to open themselves up to alternative ways, which probably shouldn't even be alternative ways, but should be primary ways integrated to really get into the root of the problem. And I'm really excited today to introduce a friend of mine that has really started expanding into some other areas outside of her normal formal education. And really the whole goal of this is to help people either in the health arena, in the finance, and then people maybe in their faith. So today it's really around the health area, and I want to introduce a good friend of mine, Shannon Heigle. How are you doing, girl?
Good. Real good.
So yeah, Shannon and I met each other, maybe, has it been 15, 20 years ago?
Probably more.
Wow, goodness gracious.
More like 25, I think.
Wow, we're so young still. So we haven't aged a bit. So, but tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and kind of what got you, into this realm that you're exploring these days, and your body, your body compass model, right? Did I screw that up?
Body, mind, compass.
There you go. Tell us a little bit about why you started doing this work and when you were trained really to be an interior designer.
So, back when I was younger, I always wanted to be a doctor, and then it kind of shifted to psychology. At one point, veterinary medicine, and then I got to school and was kind of overwhelmed with the thought of being in school for a really long time. And I literally flipped through the catalog and said, what doesn't have a lot of math? Because I didn't really like math. And interior design popped up. Well, I'm creative, so went through selective admissions, did interior design, worked at really good firms, had a successful career, still do some design, but I never felt passionate about it. I would see people just get so excited and read design magazines, and they kind of lived and breathed design. And I just sort of, went through the motions. When I was around somebody, I could get excited, did some residential, did some commercial, but it wasn't, I don't know, I just thought I wasn't a passionate person. So I had a baby at 34 and did all the right things, I thought, cleaning up my diet, had gotten rid of caffeine, etc. And at 1, Katrina hits. So she was always healthy, never a problem with anything. And after Katrina, she had horrible ear infections and a lot of eczema, so bad she'd scratch herself till she bled. And I would go to the pediatrician, and they would give me antibiotics. Didn't help. It was temporary. She'd go right back with the eczema, go right back. Well, actually, with the eczema, we had this cream that we later find out supposedly causes skin cancer, so that got taken off the market. But with the ear infections, it was just a lot of inoculations, a lot of antibiotics, and never got rid of the problem. It would just be a Band-Aid, and as soon as she got off, she'd be sick again. So they sent me to an infectious disease specialist. They sent me to an ENT. They wanted to take her adenoids out. They wanted to put tubes in her ears, and I kept asking, what's the deal? You want to do all this stuff, but we're not getting rid of the problem, because really tubes is just to allow the fluid to leak out. There's still infection there. It just eliminates an ear infection because they're worried you're going to have hearing damage. So I literally went to the bookstore back when we didn't really have the internet, as much at our fingertips, and just looked at natural healing, which I ended up getting her well through a few forms of energy medicine, and realized that's where my passion was. So instead of looking at design magazines before I go to bed at night, I'd look at natural healing books. And it was like I couldn't get enough. Like I just wanted to keep reading things. So a friend of mine called and she said, "Hey, I was listening to this podcast and I really think it's something we should go do." And I said, "What?" So we went to New York. Had never had a body talk session. So body talk is rooted. Everything I do is rooted in Eastern medicine, which is why your title's so applicable. Western medicine is what we all think of as going to the doctor. But Western medicine is all built on symptoms. So basically, they look at every symptom you have, and based on the symptoms, they look at what medicine they give you. And that's just the way Western medicine works. And I'm sure you'll notice, as our parents age, they take a medicine for this problem, and then a medicine to fix that medicine, medicine to fix that medicine. It's just all these layers of pharmaceuticals that really aren't getting to the root of the problem. And then they end up with all kinds of stuff going on, and we haven't fixed anything.
You know, I read a statistic that one of the largest growing things of death is adverse drug reaction.
I believe it.
You know, I mean, it used to, and it still hadn't overcome cancer and hypertension and heart attacks yet. But man, it's right there because, as you said, these people are eating pills like Pac-Man, and that's really the Western way, isn't it? Just as you
it's
say,
guesswork.
Yeah.
It's guesswork based on symptoms. The problem is that we're all unique beings, and something that may not affect you, I may completely be sensitive to. So a lot of people, I know the flu's going around right now. Everybody's talking about the flu. I'm hearing people having the flu. A friend of mine has twins, and this was about 5 years ago because the girls were like 10, and one of them got the flu. So she brings the child to the pediatrician, comes home with Tamiflu because that's what they give you, right? Oh, you catch it early, take the Tamiflu. Well, the kid took the Tamiflu and literally she blanked out. Like she was staring, and her mom couldn't get. She had a neurological. Just like a computer, just blips. Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen. Like some people are perfectly fine with Tamiflu, and some people do that. And because we're all unique beings, you don't know what kind of, like you said, what drug interaction you're going to have with your own body, or how sensitive you may be to it.
So you know, in this title, we talk about, you know, the system is broken. So what specifically about the system really is broken?
I think we've gotten too specialized with medicine. Medicine has its place. I'm not here trying to bash medicine in any way. I think we've gotten too specialized, and I don't think that people are old enough to remember Marcus Welby. Remember when we were little and you'd watch the Marcus Welby show, and it was about the doctor who looked at everything. Right? They looked at the big picture. They looked at the interconnectedness of all the pieces. We don't do that in medicine anymore. We've specialized it down to you go to one doctor for this part of your body and one doctor for this part of your body, and they don't look at how things relate to one another. Not to mention, do we look at diet? Do we look at exercise? I mean, my mom, for instance, she went to the doctor and they told her she had fatty liver, but made it sound like that's fine. Well, in my book, that's not fine. There's a reason you have fatty liver. So what's the reason? Why don't we look for the reason? Why don't we look for the cause? And I think part of what happens, too, is people like going and they get a pill and it fixes things. It makes it easy. They don't have to put forth effort. I mean, I know even with the health coaching that you've been doing, people will, hem and haw if they got to change their diet. People think I'm crazy because I don't use a microwave. Well, if you look at microwaved food, it actually changes the molecular structure of the food. That's why your bread is spongy after you heat bread in a microwave. So I don't use a microwave. Is it harder to heat it on the stove? I guess it's perspective. It's normal for me because I haven't had a microwave for like 10 years. But you see, I just think we're so set up to have this instant gratification. It's kind of like when we were working and you have to wait for a fax. It was like, how long is it going to take for the fax? And now, if client can't get you via email, then they're calling, they can't get you by phone, then they're texting. Or they'll find other forms of, instant messaging. We're looking for a quick fix. And unfortunately, Eastern medicine's not set up on a quick fix. Eastern medicine is set up where we look at the root of the problem. So I went on to get trained to do body talk, which is what that poster is back there. It's a protocol chart. It's literally using body body biofeedback, asking the body yes or no questions. If anybody out there has been muscle tested, it's similar to that. And you create a formula, and then you tap the formula into the body. Now, I know it sounds like hocus pocus, but it actually works because there's an intelligence in the body.
Yeah, the brain is very powerful. I mean, you and I spoke. I mean, I'd used tobacco for 35 years. I mean, not quite 30 years. I mean, not making me that old. But I went and had my brain chemistry changed, my subconscious. I flew all the way to Arizona. It's been 2 years and I haven't even had a desire. So I totally believe you. You know, going through the stuff. I mean, my wife last year with cancer. I mean, it's like right now they're like throwing things up at the wall to see what happens with these hormone blockers. And meanwhile, she can't close her hand, you know, fully. And it breaks my heart, you know, because I love my wife. And I know she's a fighter. And she just went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago. And the actual nurse said this. She said, you know, you and these millennials just don't have a high threshold for pain. Now, this is a woman that's had a double mastectomy and is tough as nails. Any of you guys out there that think you're tough, this gal's tough. She's a widow, been through a double mastectomy, hadn't complained, strong. And for that person to really say that, you know, like you said, when they're just throwing things up at the wall saying this is what's got to happen, people are looking for, you know, things to really change things. I think you're really onto something here. I mean, it's strong.
So after getting trained to do body talk, I noticed that we would talk a lot during a session, you know, as the intake portion of the session. You can read more about body talk on my website, by the way. I want to touch on everything, so I don't want to go into too great a detail on any one modality, because I actually do a few. But we were talking a lot in the beginning of the session, and body talk does tap into the subconscious mind, which is 97% of the mind. You only use 3%. That's the conscious part. So that's our thoughts. The subconscious is all the programming. If you recall, when you tried to ride a bike, it took you a little while to learn. Well, you were using your conscious mind to learn to ride the bike. Now that you know how to ride the bike, it goes into autopilot, and you just get on the bike and ride. That part of the brain is what we access when we're actually making real change. And that's what you did when you went to get hypnosis. Because that's all our programming. And it's stuff from childhood, it's stuff from traumatic events, it's all these programming. And another thing that medicine is kind of set up is fear. They make you feel like if you don't take this medicine, something horrible is going to happen to you. If you don't go, you know, get a flu shot, you're going to end up with the flu. So, again, a lot of people believe in all this, and everybody's got their own beliefs, but I wanted real answers, and I wanted to build a body based on good nutrition, clear body, mind, and spirit. Because that's really, if you can get yourself to a point where you're not in a place of stress, you're not in a fight or flight within the body, but you're in a place of calm, and you listen to the little messages your body's trying to give you, you can kind of unfold this and figure out where it'll stem from before you get sick.
You know,
so after the body talk training,
it's interesting you say that, because if you go to the doctor's office nowadays, what do you see? Posters advertising all these symptom treatments.
Yes.
I mean, I was just at the vet the other day, and it was like 5 different posters as I'm sitting there with my dog, and, you know, it's all marketing, you know, to try to get people onto this so then they can have revenue streams. I think, you know, capitalism in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it becomes the underlying reason why a lot of people do what they do, and you know, you said it's specialization. I mean, I just got a new general doctor. Took me, you know, 90 days to get in to see him, and then I go. I think, okay, it's a Friday. I figure at 3 o'clock that'll be fine. Well, he was an hour and 15 minutes late. And then he comes in, he goes, look, we got to make this quick because I got to go pick up my kid, you know, from school. And I'm like, I've been waiting 90 days. Well, he comes in and he goes, you got to go see this specialist. You got to go see that specialist. You got to do this, want all these blood panels. And it's almost like a self-fulfilling engine that just tries to geek the insurance companies for as much money as possible to create this huge flow versus truly getting people well. And I think people are getting frustrated with that. So I love what you're doing, and I love your passion. I think that fear thing is a really big deal, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
It's flight or fight, really. But it's that fear that cripples a lot of people. If I don't, then this is going to happen. So we manifest that.
Yes. So what I was saying was, after I practiced body talk for a while, I took a coaching class because I realized that I needed some tools to coach. So I also life coach. That gave me the ability to actually kind of help people look at all their limiting beliefs, look at what their thoughts could actually be doing to them physically. And then most recently, I took classes to get certified in Bioset. Well, Bioset is actually what I used for my daughter to basically get rid of all her food sensitivities, which is what was causing the ear infections and causing the eczema. And the kid has no food sensitivities any longer through Bioset treatments. So my husband actually got Bioset year and a half ago because he turned up with eczema out of nowhere. And he's like, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm 48 years old. I don't know why I have eczema all of a sudden. He says, I guess I need to go to the doctor. I said, the doctor's going to give you cream, and the cream's not going to do anything. We need to go to Baton Rouge. So when I was in Baton Rouge, I spoke to the same practitioner, and I said, I really want to get trained. So now I'm able to offer the same modality that actually healed my husband's eczema and my daughter's. But it's good. It's actually good for anything. So what ends up happening is you might exhaust doctors, and you get to a point where you are not getting the answers that you want, and you're not getting any better. You might want to give me a call, because I really think I have tools to help.
And how can they find you? What's your website and your phone number?
It's bodymindcompass.com. Okay. My phone number is 504-909-2355.
And I mean, what types of people, clients do you like or have you worked with? And is it only limited to just Louisiana? Or I know you said you were working with a lady in Georgia that was a cancer survivor and really had some big breakthroughs. Tell the people, that are watching, what that looks like, what types of people and clients you like and have worked with.
So I think most people prefer to see me in person, but I can do distant sessions. We can do like we're doing, where we're not in the same city. What happened was my friend has gone through breast cancer, and then it metastasized, and it's in different parts of her body. And what we did was guided meditation, and I would literally work with her subconscious mind to alleviate pain. I alleviated nausea in her, and we actually got her cancer markers to go down. They were shocked at how much they shrunk. So that's really just harnessing the power of the mind. And I have made her recordings of my voice, talking her through meditation. And she said whenever she feels stressed or not feeling well, she puts it in her ears and it calms her down. So, I have it. Obviously, if you're in the New Orleans metro area, seeing me in person, I think people like human touch.
Yeah.
Especially with body talk, you're lying on the massage table, and it's very soothing for people. But it's just as effective, long distance.
That's good stuff, and I know. Think about it. I mean, you were an interior designer. You had this problem. You went and researched the problem, and now this is where your passion is. That's usually where great things happen. I know I was not a model of health for a lot of years, and when you go through stuff, markers in your life, you start to really wake up and say, people go, I can't afford this work that you're doing, or I can't afford a health coach, or whatever it might be. But you're going to
can't afford not to.
Yeah, you're going to end up spending a ton more money on co-pays or sicknesses down the road. And I know you're not saying you're going to quote unquote cure anyone, but I think the body and the mind
cures itself.
Yeah, I mean it's
that's
why when you get a cut, over time it goes away and it'll heal itself through the. I'm no scientist to know how all the blood molecules and all work, but So why do people, maybe evangelicals or, even people of faith sometimes get a little weary in this? They think it's kind of a voodoo deal or, versus truly just knowing that God made us the way he made us and to harness that. Why do you think people can get caught up in that dogma, if you will?
Because I think there are too many people that
Fear.
Call themselves healers.
Yeah.
No, I think people call themselves healers. And the problem is that we are not healers. We are all humans.
Yeah.
The difference is I have the ability to hold the space and re-educate the body so the body can heal itself. So I'm not doing anything except facilitating healing. So there's a difference there. And I think that's part of it. If you wrap in religion, and somebody's calling themselves a healer, that's where the disconnect comes in, right?
Because even if you got a guy that is on TV, and heals them, and all the notoriety goes at him, it really isn't him doing it. If you really have faith and you think God can't heal somebody, it's God or So it gets a little weird, doesn't it? I mean, people can make it weird when really it's just natural science. And I mean, if anyone has. It
absolutely is science,
yeah.
And it's based in, well, first of all, most of what I do is based in Eastern medicine, which is Chinese medicine. So traditional Chinese medicine's been around, I think, 30,000 years, some Korea, or 3,000 years, adding zero, but a really long time.
You said you weren't good at math. We're not holding you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, math was not my thing. But it's also, so the energy work is based in quantum physics. And if you look at quantum physics is just what prayer is. When you have a whole bunch of people praying, it's intent and focus. And with that intent and focus, you can create change. So it's the same thing.
Well, I'll tell you, and I had...
So it's just...
I had a real hard time even with the concept of meditation, at first. But, now, when I went and met this lady to do the hypnosis, Alvera in Scottsdale, she stays booked up, by the way, for like 2 or 3 months. And I've sent 31 people, and only one person is still using tobacco. Now, you can say that's coincidental, but 30 out of 31, that's pretty powerful.
Because you have to want it, and clearly 30 of them did.
Yes, and one didn't, and, so...
and that's okay.
I love your passion. I love what you're doing with people, and I think back to this meditations. When I went and saw one of my friends, and he's a strong evangelical as I am, he goes, man, why are you going to her? Why don't you just ask God to take this desire? And I go, dude, I've been asking that for like 10 years. But what she had the ability to do, and I asked her, I go, so what is this going to be like? And she goes, the Apostle Paul talks about emptying yourself and just getting to a place where you can listen to God, in a way that, and I tell you, I bought this app the last couple months, and it quiets my mind down in the evening, and it's, a biblical meditation, if you will, but it works very well, and so I applaud the work you're doing. I wish more and more people would explore this versus just going down the rabbit trail of, let me send you to 47 specialists to see why you have, a tick bite. It's gotten very much, I think, of a fear and money play, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want people to do from this message?
Go check out my website. You can also schedule a free 15-minute consult. We can chat. You can tell me about what's going on, and I can tell you what I have that can help. And then we go from there.
Shannon, I appreciate your time. And folks, I don't do this as regular as I thought I would. It's only episode 37, but, in talking with Shannon about Renee's situation and, other of you that might be going through some health issues and not getting the answers you want, why not? Why not open yourself up to some alternative ways other than take a pill and treat the symptoms and cross your fingers, hope not to die, not stick a needle in your eye, but do something that's been around a long time. I mean, if you look at the Asian culture, first of all, they're not obese as we are. Second, they live to well beyond life expectancy. So there has to be something to this. And I'll encourage you to go look at her website. And again, thank you for tuning in, and definitely share this if you've gotten some value out of it. And we will see you on the next time when we bring thought leaders in the health arena, in finance, or in their faith to help you get a more clear direction on how to get to a better place in each of those components. Thanks again, Janet.
Thanks.
All right.